The lines that are in red are my expenses. In today's video, we're going to talk about my off-the-wall independent adjuster cost. Hi, my name is Ebahi and I am a claims adjuster. If I can help you make money in this very lucrative industry, would you let me? But first, tales from the field.
And how'd you get into this type of work?
My brother.
In today's video, we're going to talk about my off-the-wall independent adjuster cost. Everything that I spent money on to be able to adjust claims in the field. When we're looking at this statistic here, the industry is telling us that it pays on average about $68,000 a year. Well, at least it's the median pay. That means a bunch of people got paid on both sides of that. And that could be you. Why not you? Why not now? For some people, this may not be an amazing amount, but for some people, it really is. My name is Ebahi. As I stated, I started in this industry about 4 years ago. I'm a University of Cincinnati alumni. I worked at Google Maps briefly. My biggest success was getting promoted to lead a team of 10 to help make locating locations easier for you. And a lot of that technology is still used today. I started in this industry in 2017. Now I'm earning over 6 figures. Now we're going to get to the expenses in just a moment, but I always get these questions about how to get work, how to get started, where can I get some more information, where can you contact me? I'm absolutely happy to give you the resources to be able to do that. Number one, if you're looking for work, you do want to get on our email list here. But I want to make sure that you're here because you want a career and not a job. It's very important to understand that J.O.B is just over broke, and you're going to want to have life-changing money, and that takes a career. You have to be involved in your own training. You have to be involved in your progress just as much as those overseeing you are. So you must understand that this is not a job. You job hoppers, I've been there. Those looking to make a quick buck or get rich quick, this is not that. We are one of the most highly regulated industries, so it's really not a time to play around. So be very serious about choosing this if you're choosing this as a career. The cost of deployments may surprise you. So we're going to come back to this slide in just a second. But first, I just wanted to give a quick shout out to my recent subscribers. Thank you so much for letting me know that this is material you're interested in and that you want to see more of. Whether you're new or whether you've been here for a while, you can vote on next week's topic in the comments. I do read those and I do reply. As I mentioned, we're going to talk about the cost of deployments. We talked about it briefly during my lives. So as I mentioned, the cost of the deployments. Now, the resources that I just mentioned there aren't part of those costs, but I do have a small video that I'm going to pull up, and that'll show you a lot of the expenses that I had. So let's share my screen. Okay, so here we have it, the beginning of my expenses. This deployment date was mid-November. It was after November 11th. September 11th. September 11th. So we're looking at lines number 1, 2, 2. Lines number 1, 2, 2 right here. Okay. Let me change that color. Okay, yep, ShopRite. ShopRite is not a store in Atlanta, Georgia. So I know for sure that ShopRite is not correct. Okay, next we had the Staples. This was definitely during my deployment. So we're at number 123. So those are the New Jersey Turnpike expenses. So the lines that are in red are my expenses. During the deployment, during the Hurricane Ida deployment. And remember, it started early or mid-September. It was definitely between early, not the start of September, because it was after September 11th. A lot of eating out. You got to eat something. Eating out. You can supplement eating out with groceries. However, it's still, like where would you cook and things like that. You could stay in an extended stay, but do you have time to cook when you're working on a deployment? And it's a deployment. Eat good. I just spilled a cup of Starbucks in my car too. So I really don't doubt that. I actually don't have that much, but you guys have. So these are all the expenses. A lot of dining. So flying to get to the location, that's an option. Then you have to rent a car. Sometimes people drive and they rent a car, or they borrow a car from someone they know, but that's still a fee. Lots of flights booked. So Walgreens got to get your little care, your COVID protections, your allergy medicines. And gotta buy clothes, especially when the seasons are changing. Might have some toiletries that you left out. Might need to get some shoes. So you can see the Dick's Sporting Goods, workout clothes, because you only have a 3-day bag packed. I love Instacart. Love it. This may also apply if you let your license lapse. You'll have that expense. That's a business expense in my opinion. Either you are going to need some additional licenses, and that's why you take a test, or you let your license lapse. That could be why. And I hadn't paid all my tolls, so that is actually a real bill. They called me back and explained those tolls in Maryland. I did not grab a receipt. The IICRC, that's also a business expense. You can see that on line 143. I did get a refund for that. But the other thing I wanted to mention is that a friend of mine, he definitely had a lot of the same expenses that I had. So now I'm going to go through the totals. Okay, but yeah, so if I start to add all of these up. Now that Hertz rental, that is also an expense my friend had, because let's see what the total is. $1,471.68. Just to be out in the field. Like I was mentioning, my colleague, that red little thing is getting on me. Okay. He had the same expenses that I had, even including the car, because he rented a car from someone. So he also had car expenses, gas expenses were also included in my tally. So again, that total there is your cost to get really moving at when you start as an insurance adjuster, especially when you first get deployed. The other part that I want to mention to that is the housing. I don't know if all of my housing was in there because you're going to spend about $100 a night for your housing. That's another 700 bucks. Working as an independent adjuster, you'll have to focus on getting licenses where you know people. That way you can save on room and board. If you're a public adjuster, you don't have to worry about that. They generally work virtually. If you work as a desk adjuster, you also don't have to worry about these some of the expenses, because still you can work at a desk deployment, but still be required to be on site somewhere, and you'll still have small charges come up from your hotel to your rental car to your food. I hope that was very valuable for you. If you're interested in becoming a claims adjuster, there are tons of resources in the description. Go in, check them out. You're never too old or too young to get going in this business. In fact, most people start in this business when it's their second or third career. That was me a few years ago. And back then I was living at home. I didn't have my own car, and I just wasn't in a place where I could travel like I wanted to. But since I became a claims adjuster, and it is truly life-changing money, and I did it in such a short time, I'm able to spend more time with my family, more time traveling, and I make my own schedule. That's the beauty of getting in this industry, and you don't even need a degree to do it. I wondered, like yourself, where was this job when I was in college? Okay, look below, and don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Hi, my name is Ebahi, and I am a claims adjuster. If I can help you make money in this very lucrative industry, would you let me? But first,